जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन जमुना तीर बनचारी जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर बनचारी यमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य भक्तिवेदांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्ति की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण भोग गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। गुरु द्वारका धाम की जय। स्वामी भक्तवृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरी टू द लॉर्ड, ऑल ग्लोरी टू द लॉर्ड। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 16th chapter, text number 36, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad, recorded on the 30th of January, 1974, in Tokyo, Japan.
Sri Rupam Satvajātam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Vam Sajivam Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Jaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Tayorevam Katayato.
Tayorevam Katayato.
Prithvi Dharmayostada.
Prithvi Dharmayostada.
Parikshinama Rajarshi.
Parikshinama Rajarshi.
Prapta Prachim Saraswati.
Prapta Prachim Saraswati.
Translation. While the earth and the personality of religion were thus engaged in conversation, the saintly king Maharaj Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east.
So we are discussing the conversation between Mother Earth and Dharmaland. The subject matter was that the earthly planet was very much morose on account of arrival of Kali Yuga. So we have discussed the symptoms of Kali Yuga. This is called Kali Yuga, as there are seasonal changes. Similarly, in the duration of this material existence, there are seasonal changes. That everyone has got experience. There is summer, there is winter, there is fall, there is spring. So generally, the seasonal changes are accepted as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Just like in each year we have got different seasons changes, and each millennium there are so many changes of Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Satya Yuga. So Satya Yuga means the age of truthfulness. Satya means truthfulness. And Kali Yuga means the age of disagree, the age of disagree. At the present moment, we are in the Kali Yuga. Everyone disagrees with the other. In the so-called disciple also disagrees with the teacher. This is the influence of Kali Yuga. One becomes disciple of a spiritual master, and then he whimsically disagrees. So why, if you disagree, why should you accept somebody as spiritual master? That is not very good. That is the way of not being successful. We are chanting every day that Jasya Prasadat Bhagavati. By satisfying the spiritual master, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. Jasya Prasadat, by the satisfaction of the spiritual master. Samsara-dava, nalavi, rupa-trama, karma. One of the symptoms is this. The spiritual master is so bona fide. Before accepting somebody as spiritual master, he must know about his bona fide. That time is allowed. It is said in the Shastra that if you like to accept somebody as spiritual master, you should associate with him at least for 1 year. See how things are going. If you follow, of course, others, that is also good. But personally, it is advised that you just remain with the proposed spiritual master for at least 1 year, so that the spiritual master is also giving chance to study you, whether you are accepted. This is the problem. But when one leaves his spiritual master, there may be some reason. That reason is also given in the Shastra. Gurumapi abbaliptasya karya karyam ajanata karyam aparta. if the spiritual master does not know what is actually to be done, what is actually not to be done, and he acts against the rules and regulations of the Shastra, then such spiritual master may be given up. But so long we do not find the spiritual master is doing against the principles of Shastra or Guru, then it will give us the company of spiritual master. That is not good. That is a downfall. First of all, we must take sufficient time to study the movement of a spiritual master. A spiritual master is one, the spiritual master. Because there may be many spiritual masters, but if their business is one, to satisfy Krishna, although there are many, they are one. Although there are many, they are still one. The principle is one, to satisfy Krishna. So such is the position of spiritual master, that Jasya Prasadam Bhagavat Prasad. If you try to please your spiritual master, then God, Krishna, becomes pleased. That is natural. So, in Kali Yuga, even with the spiritual master, there is due. That is due to influence of Kali Yuga. That is natural. So this influence of Kali Yuga has been discussed in so many stages in this Bhagavata. And last it was discussed that the good qualification of a human being, I'm speaking, because amongst the living entities, human being is considered to be the highest. So the Mother Earth was lamenting that people have lost their good qualification. They cannot be lost, but it is by the influence of Kali Yuga, it is now common. Satsang, among there are 26 nice qualifications we have discussed on this. Satsang Sautam Daya Khanti Styago Santuto Adyavam Samodama Tapashyamam Titikho Uparati Sutam Jnanam Virakti Vaisajjan Chodjana Tija Balam Nitihi Satantram Kausalam Kanti Yajjam Madham Evasa. So, on account of this Kali Yuga, the good qualification of human society is the law. Thinking the future or the present day, Mother Earth was lamenting and talking to Dharmaraj. At that time, Maharaj Yudhishthira and Maharaj Parikshit arrived from that spot. That is the Yudhishthira. Sayorimam Kapayago. While the Dharmaraj and the earthly planet was talking between themselves, Prithvi, Sayoreva Kathayato, Prithvi, the earthly planet, and Dharmayo, Sada. Sada, that time, Parikshit Nama Raja. Parikshit Nama Rajasi. There are many Rajasi. Rajasi means, although they are occupying the royal position, Raja and Praja. Raja means king or the ruler. Here is also a regulative. Why a king is accepted? Why a governor is accepted? Why a president is, even in this day of democracy, they have abolished the system of monarchy, but still they select somebody to become a monarch, a king, or to occupy the post of the king. That is called president. Why? Because unless there is one head or on the head of the government who can actually control means whether citizens are following, executing the rules and regulations, the law of the state. Therefore, a certain man, qualified man, to enjoy the confidence of the people, he is accepted as the king. This is the president. So, such president, king or the executive head must be a saintly person. Therefore here it is said, Parikshit Nama Rajarsi. Rajarsi means those who are on the top of the government, he must be rishi, saintly person. Just like this, our Krishna consciousness movement. The head of the institution must be a saintly person. Otherwise, how can we become his controller? Controller there must be. That what is the qualification of the controller? He must be a saintly person. He must know what is the principle of life, what is the value of life, why one should be controlled by somebody else. These things are required to become qualified. So, Maharaj Parikshit Nama Rajarsi, in those days, all the kings were like saintly persons. They were not ordinary persons. Why saintly person required? Because a saintly person means he knows what is actually good and what is not good. The actually good of human life is that he is engaged in developing devotional service, very much service. In another place, this Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Savai Pumshan Paro Dharma, Jato Bhakti Radhukhari. Paro Dharma. Paro means superior, transcendental. Or it is Paro and Aparo. Boro and Aboro. These words are used. Boro means greater, and Aboro means lower. And Paro means superior, and Aparo means inferior. Here it is spoken. There are many types of religious systems, but they are Aparo, not very good, inferior, inferior type. Religion cannot be inferior, but it is sometimes made into inferiority, because without such kind inferior type of religion, the inferior class of man will not act. Just like in religious system, many religious systems, the killing of animals, there is. In every religious system, there is. But why there is this killing of a living entity is not good. But why in the religious system there is permission for killing animals? So that is explained. A person who is staunch meat eater, he cannot give up meat eating. So at the same time he wants to be religious. This is the position. For such person, it is enjoyed. Just like in Vedic system. Alright, if you want to eat meat, at the same time you want to become religious, then you worship Goddess Kali. You cannot worship Vishnu, because he is a meat eater, he cannot approach Pavitra Paramam Bhava. The Supreme Personality is the Supreme Pure. So this meat eater is impure, he cannot approach the pure. That is not possible. Therefore, he is advised to approach some agent of the pure, some Shakti, just like Goddess Kali. Goddess Kali is the Shakti or the potency. Kali has got also business to cut the heads of the demons. You have seen the Goddess Kali's picture in Mundamala. She is garlanded with the heads of the demons. Have you seen? Yeah. But her business is to cut the head of the demon. She is carrying one head in this hand, and in this hand she is carrying a chopper, and her business is to cut the heads of the demon. But she is also the agent of the Supreme Personality of God. How she is agent? Because God has got two businesses. Paritrana sadhuna vinasaya duskita. Duskitina mula naradhava maya apurjajnana asuri bhavavastita. For them, the goddess Kali is engaged to cut their head. That is also Krishna's agent. Vinasaya duskita, that is finished. But by finishing that, they are also elevated. Finishing means finishing their sinful activity. Finishing their sinful activity. This like it is very easy to understand. Just a person has committed murder. The state law is finishing, otherwise he will commit another one. If he is encouraged, therefore, by finishing him, there are two purposes. One purpose is such that because he has done something very grievous, sinful activity, by sacrificing his own life, he becomes relieved from the sinful life. That is the law of evolution. I am not manifesting. A murderer is condemned to death just to save him from many following resultant action of sinful activity. In this life, he gives his life for life. Then he says, in the next life, he takes his birth clean, not suffering anymore, on account of the sinful life. This is the statement of evolution. Another instruction is that if this murderer is killed, then he is saved from committing again murder. So, the Vinashaya Sadhustika, when a demon is killed, then he is saved, the people are saved, and everything is good. But people cannot understand that why God is killing the demon and giving protection to the devotee. God is equal to everyone. Krishna says, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name deshasti na priya. Krishna says that I am equal to everyone. If God is not equal to everyone, then how he can be God? He is God. He is equal. Name deshasti na priya. Now when God is killing somebody and God is patting somebody, that does not mean he has got two equal behaviors or two persons. No. His behavior is the same, affection. But to kill this demon means to stop him from further sinful activity and give him release from the sinful activity right now. That was his mercy. That one has to study very carefully. Because God is absolute, there is no difference between his activities the demon and giving protection to the devotee. He is giving protection to the demon also by killing, but one cannot understand. So, in this Kali Yuga, Rajarsi is saintly person. Now he will find this Parikshit Maharaj, as soon as he will find that one demon is trying to kill another cow, he immediately took his place. So if he is a rishi, one may inquire that he is a saintly person, how is that he is going to kill another person? So killing is not always bad, but it is not to be judged by you, it is to be judged by the saintly person. When killing is required or not killing. So that is the qualification of the Kshatriya. Kshatriya means one who gives protection. Because when there is attack in a country, the king or the president gives protection to the citizen by killing the enemy. So his business is to give protection to the citizen. It may be sometimes by killing others he gives protection. We have discussed many times the violence and non-violence. These are contradictory terms. But when these two contradictory things are found in saintly person, we must know they are all the same attributes. And what to speak of, when these actions are found in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. There is the absolute nature. Absolute, to understand the absolute nature means 1 plus 1 equal to 1, and 1 minus 1 equal to 1. This is absolute understanding. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avasishyate. Purnasya Purnamada. 1 is complete number. Purna. Purnasya Purnamadaya. And if you take away complete 1, it still is 1. This is absolute understanding. It is not that one has been taken away from 1, that will it has become 0. No, that is material. That is relative. So, Parikshit Nama Rajasi Prapti Prachin Saraswati. In India, all the rivers, they are coming from the Himalayas, western side, flowing towards the eastern side, going to the Bay of Bengal. The Prachin, going to the eastern side, Saraswati. This is also one of the famous rivers. There are many rivers in India, especially very sacred rivers, Ganges, Jamuna, Saraswati, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, Narmada, like that. Each river is considered very sacred. So, it is understood that Parikshit Maharaj met the Dharmaraj and the earthly planet talking together on the banks of the river. Any questions? And Yudhishthira is the son of Dharma. He is the son. Maharaj Yudhishthira was begotten by Dharmaraj.
Vidura was also
No, Vidura was begotten by A.C.
he was also Dharmaraj?
No. Oh yes, yes. You're right. Yes, Dharmaraj. Dharmaraj, yes. And by the passing of some great Rishi, he became a Shudra. I thought that you were asking whether Vidura was begotten by Dharmaraj. No, he Dharmaraj. Many questions, what is the name of that boy? Sanjay? Who has given you this name? Sanjay, what?
Having to do one just around about my hair standing on end.
What is that?
I heard the holy dialogue about my hair standing on end. Sometimes reading the Gita.
What is that? Question. Who spoke that?
This is the last book of the Bhagavad Gita, relating the conversation to Dhritarashtra, the final conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. And after hearing this whole dialogue, my hair is standing on end.
Oh.
In Bhagavad Gita.
Huh. You want to know about something? But that's not.
No, I just stated that.
Every instruction is like that. You just follow the instruction. And if you cannot understand, then consult the spiritual master. Not to give her this association of the spiritual master and interpret in your own way. That is just don't do it. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidhi Panipatena Parikrishnena Sevaya. If the sense of Jnanam, Jnanina Tattva. If there is any doubt in understanding the Vedic Gita, then you try to understand from the person who knows Tattva, who has seen actually the truth. Upadaksanti tad jnanam jnanina tattva. One has actually seen the truth. And how to approach him? Tadvidhi panipatena parikrishnena. By surrendering, by giving service and pushing. Question must be preceded and followed by, preceded by surrender and followed by service. In the middle, there is no. Therefore, this saprasadam bhagavat. We have to please the spiritual master by service and surrender. then it will be very nice. When the spiritual master sees that this is happening, he will surrender. So, and he is rendering service to his best practice. Then the answer will be very liberal and convincing, and he will be very glad to answer the question. If it is supported by these two things, surrender and Krishna and Shiva. So the deep Panipati, the first beginning is Panipati. What is this? That I give up the company of my spiritual master and I invent my own ways of life and own interpretation. That is not right.
The war on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, that lasted for a period of 18 days.
Yes.
And that happened 5,000 years ago when Krishna was on earth. Is that happening now in some other material universe? The same battle?
Yes.
Can we enter into that or see that?
Yes. We go there.
We leave the universe, but then we are associating directly with Krishna and Arjuna.
Yeah. We can associate with Krishna and Arjuna every 24 hours by reading Bhagavad Gita. Why you require to go there? He is already here, you see. You read the Bhagavad Gita and you are immediately in the Bhaktivedanta is instruction. That was the instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted. You know that story? Illiterate Brahman was reading Bhagavad Gita. So he did not know. He was not literary. But because his spiritual master, he had so staunch faith in his spiritual master. His spiritual master said that he read daily 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. His spiritual master knew that he was illiterate. But he still asked to read 18 chapters daily. So what can he do? Spiritual master is an order. So he was simply making a show to read it. Like this. So his other friends were criticized. Mr. Satan said, how are you reading Bhagavad Gita? He knows that this man, his friend is criticizing. So he did not answer. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, my dear Brahma, what you are reading? He knew that this gentleman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, really intuitive. So he explained the whole thing, that I am trying to read Bhagavad Gita, but I am illiterate. My Guru Maharaj ordered me to read, therefore I am reading. But actually I cannot. It's like that. This is staunch faith in spiritual. He knew, his spiritual master knew that he is illiterate. And he knew also that I cannot read Bhagavad Gita. But still he was trying to read because his spiritual master has said. This is Sanskar. Just Saptasala. He has said, I have to satisfy. I am incompetent. I cannot read. But he has said, Jagannath. This is called just Saptasala. So, practical example, just like this Krishna consciousness movement. I'm insignificant human being, what can I do? But I tried my best because my spiritual master says that you go and try to preach in English. So I tried my best. I had no qualification. So this is very nice point. Just Prasada. We have to try our best to, I may not be able to do that. But that endeavor will be appreciated by Krishna and that is it. I may be most incompetent. Everyone is incompetent. Who can satisfy Krishna with unlimited? But simply what Krishna says, if we do, that is it. Krishna says, Manmana bhavamad bhakta vajyajimangamasti. The guidance is the spiritual master. He orders that Manmana always think of me. Bhavamat bhakta. just become my devotee, worship me, offer your obeisances. And here is the duty. So, there is your business. Think of always, there is Radha and Krishna, here is Jagannath, there is Chaitanya. Very difficult. In the temple, we get direct contact. And if I go out from the temple and lie down on the station, is a very good thing. Krishna says, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakta. So, will it help me to think of him 24 hours like going to the railway station or in the temple? This is common sense. Any sensible man can understand. But here is Krishna, here is Radharani, worship is going on, devotees are offering prasadam, or they are constantly engaged. That is Manmana Bhakta. Or I give up the association of the devotees and temple and go to hell. That is heaven. This is common sense. I manufacture my own way by the advice of some another restaurant. This is very good. Manmana Bhavamad Bhakta Madhyajimang Namaskuri. Always think of it. There is a chance. As soon as I see, as I advance in my spiritual life, I see here is Krishna. It is not the doll Krishna. Doll Krishna is for the Kanishta. But one is advanced, he sees Krishna. Just like you have read the story of in Chaitanya Charitamrita, two Brahmins went to Vrindavan. So, devotees seeing, here is Krishna. When the older Brahmin said that I promise, so the younger said, you have to stop. The debate on this promise is a great offense. Because you are seeing Krishna. And when he was asked, who have you witnessed? He said, Krishna was witness. And his eldest son took the opportunity. All right, if your Krishna comes and gives witness, then my sister will be married. Because you are thinking Krishna is not coming. Krishna is not coming. He made a marble statue. How Krishna comes? So he thought that I have given him some chance which will never be fulfilled. But to fulfill the words of the devotee, Krishna came. Therefore he is called Bhaktivedanta. So we must have faith. We must have faith and discharge duties according to the Shastra, the Sadhu. Then our spiritual life is guaranteed. It will manufacture some out of me. That is not right.
Sri Prabhupada, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that when Chitta measures from the finger become a limited mini finger. How do we change the place in the different sizes of species of living entities?
He can become smaller than the smallest. The hand is bigger than the biggest. That is Krishna's power.